Hi, this is Dr. Mark Sehl for the YouTube channel Therapy for the Heart. It's nice to be here. It's Thursday. I usually say Tuesdays with Mark, but a couple of days late. So the 36th talk is going to be about secure and insecure attachments and how they are discovered in early life and continue through adult life. I mentioned as a teaser maybe a couple of weeks ago about a case of Cecil and how his mother fell in love with him. But as a preface to that, there have been many studies of indicating that infants with insecure attachments expend a lot of energy seeking a secure base and trying to secure a secure base. So their energy is drained if they don't have a secure attachment to begin with. And studies of adults replicated that the same study, only with adults, and they found also the same percentages of attachments, of securely attached, avoidant, and anxious states. So they found also that adults with weak attachments had feelings of inadequacy and lack of intimacy. So it's amazing that the studies, they weren't the studies of the same people. That would have been an interesting, different study, but they did find the same percentages of different styles of attachment in the adults. Also, if the attachments were too strong, they found issues of codependency. So secure attachments means a combination of wanting closeness and also being comfortable with independence. The case of Cecil is from the paper Mother-Infant Research Informs Mother-Infant Treatment, and that was done by Dr. Cecil. It wasn't Dr. Cecil. Cecil would have must be pretty old by now. But anyway, it was Dr. Beatrice Beebe, and she was an infant researcher and studied with microanalysis infants and mothers with videos. So Cecil's mom came to her with concern about her infant, who was about 8 or 9 years old, and his name was Cecil. And she was concerned because he showed a lack of attachment to her and contact. He didn't look at her. He averted her gaze frequently. So she went to the program to see if she could be evaluated and find out what was going on with her and Cecil. Now there's also he wouldn't have she couldn't play with him in an enjoyable manner. He would get irritated, throw toys. It just was not a good scene. So there's a phrase called gaze aversion, where the infant looks away. Now, when infants are overly stimulated, they have to find a way to cool down because their heart starts racing, and the way to cool down is to avert the gaze of somebody who is perhaps overstimulating them. So mother took that gaze aversion. She didn't know that at the time. She didn't know about the phrase, but she took it as a rejection. So when she was rejected, she would pursue Cecil with vigor. That's my word. But she would. And she therefore would be overstimulating him. And his response was to back away. And therefore she would be continued to feel rejected, that he didn't care about her, liked her. So she was in a real bind because mothers really have a hard time because of their wish to have union and connection and joyful play with their children, and they can't. They're frustrated by that. It's very sad and aggravating for them, as you know. So Cecil's mother, we find out more about Cecil's mother's mother, and Cecil's mother's mother was hard to reach and impassive. She was not attuned to her mother, and she would set the pace all the time. She would set the pace. And that was irrespective of where her daughter was in terms of her emotional state at the time or her behavior. Also, Cecil's mom would get anxious and try to connect with her mother. Cecil's neutral face He was very neutral. Triggered her memory of her mother's neutral face, at which time, as a little girl, she would try to engage with her mother, actively engage with her mother, and it wasn't very successful. So it helped when Dr. Beebe, imitated Cecil's mother's face in front of Cecil's mother. Cecil's mother's mom's face in front of Cecil's mother. That was very helpful. And it actually was the same face that Cecil had, but it wasn't the same person. She had a transference to Cecil. But then she could see her mother's face when Dr. Beebe would imitate the face that his mother saw, but she saw it was the same face that her mother had when she was very, very young. So Dr. Beebe's empathy for her, she said, what she did say was, you know, it's understandable you're going to be very active in pursuing your son, because that's what you did when you were a little girl. When your mother seemed impassive and disinterested, you actively pursued her. So of course you're going to do the same thing now. So that was very helpful to soothe the mother's criticalness of herself, the way she was behaving. So when Dr. Beebe played with Cecil, she played with her in a way that was different than the mother would play with her. So she would be slow, she would pace herself, and mother would observe this, and then she saw that Cecil was acting differently. He was more engaged, he became interested in the toys, he didn't throw them around, and he took his own initiative. So that was a good experience for her. So now when she played with Beebe, this is a short period, it's such a short video, it's like not, this didn't happen to six months, but actually I don't know how long it took for her treatment. I'd like to find that out. But anyway, it took a while for mother, I think, to practice with Cecil, and for them to look different videos of her, how her engagement with her son, and what was lacking, what was missing. But now the videos with mother and Cecil, mother was becoming slower, softer. She was pausing between her movements, and also her vocalizations were different with Cecil. Were so, I imagine, not so persistent, not so anxious. Now Cecil was making eye contact with his mother, and his mother wasn't pushing. He didn't have to avert. She wasn't stimulating or overstimulating him. So, fascinating. I thought that was fascinating because it talks about transference, you know, of a mother towards interfering, transference of a mother toward her son, interfering with their relationship. And I have never seen or read something that was some infant was that young when the mother transference. So now Cecil took the toy while the mother was, playing with it. And he took the toy and he explored it, and he was interested in it. And he didn't throw it away, and there was room for him to take his own initiative. So Cecil's mom wrote Dr. Beebe, quote, "Our connection is deep and easy and full of joy. Cecil is an absolutely delicious, funny, and charming, very loving little person. You helped me relax and see him. I stopped focusing on what he and I were not doing, which she was blaming herself, being very critical of herself and him. And then her last sentence was, having discovered Cecil, I fell in love with Cecil." Amazing. A love story with a happy ending. So think about if mother didn't bring Cecil into that for treatment. That was a courageous thing that mother did, because I've talked about it. It's not weak to come for therapy. It's courageous. Yeah, and it's the weakness is if you don't come to therapy, you just repeat the same things over and over again. So what courage is that? You don't look at yourself. But she was very courageous, and often parents fear that they're going to be blamed for whatever is happening with their children. And also these YouTubes are not to blame mothers. They're just to help people, men and women, try to understand what their conflicts are so that they can have a happier life. But Cecil would have blamed himself as if it was his fault, and that's how the mother was seeing it. So he would have gone on and had a terrible history of self-blame, and how would that affect his relationships with others and with himself particularly. So obviously Cecil's mother had an insecure attachment. Talk about insecure attachments and repeating themselves, with Cecil's mother's mother, with Cecil's mother. So reminds me of that incident with the caretaker on the bus, and how the mother was shoving the food down her child's mouth, and the child was trying to reach up to grab the spoon to make a moment, create a moment for himself. He couldn't do it because the mother ignored what he was doing, trying to grab the spoon. So this is Dr. Mark Sehl from the YouTube channel Therapy for the Heart. I hope you can like the channel, like the talk, and subscribe to the channel. You can like the talk by pushing a button if you would like to. I would like you to, and that helps me in my videos. And also subscribe if you have a Gmail account, and if you subscribe, you can automatically get the downloads, and I will comment. You can comment, and I will return my answers to your comments, which I've done recently on several people who had some questions. Also, I'm making a podcast, so there will be a companion. It will be podcast Therapy for the Heart, and it will be companion to the YouTube channel Therapy for the Heart. So for those who like watching videos, they can watch the videos, and for others who want to be able to listen wherever they are, home, driving. You can always listen to the videos. To the podcasts. So. I'll look forward to that. They should be out in 2-3 weeks, hopefully. So this is Dr. Mark Sehl signing off for the YouTube channel Therapy for the Heart. This is the 36th talk. And you can reach me by... Also, by the way, if you're considering therapy, why wait? If you're young, old, in between, you could be here 20 years later, thinking back 20 years and saying, well, I wish I had done something then. So... Anyway, you can contact me at 212-228-3467. You can text me at 917-991-9113. You can visit my website at marksehl.com. Or shoot me an email at marksehl@gmail.com. And if you have any questions or things you want to say, I could bring them into the videos if I get an email. Okay, signing off for now. Bye-bye.